What's up, guys? We are back. This is game 2 between Supsons and Team Evil Geniuses. Got another nice little 2v2 for you. Game 1 going to Team Supsons with a pretty interesting Protoss Air Terran Ground combo. Had the Marine tank action with the Phoenix Void Ray, and it worked out very, very well for them.
Yeah, I agree. It was super successful. When I was mentioning, Team Supsons going for all these air units against the ground combo of Evil Geniuses, I thought Evil Geniuses was going to crush through them, man, because not often do Phoenixes and those light air units work too well in a big battle, but Supsons made it work.
Well, I mean, Phoenixes do work well, especially against siege tanks, and Axlav's primary composition was siege tanks, and oh, look at that, grabbing the extractor for his teammate, so his teammate can mine out of that. That's a nice little 2v2 trick. Kind of nice to have a Zerg on your side sometimes, and that's just going to allow Axlav to get that really early gas going, and we're going to have to see what he does with that. He could go for fastest possible Reaper, he could go for super quick Hellions, or maybe even a faster Banshee than we saw in game 1.
Yeah, but Optic Zero does come in here with the Probe Scout, and he should see the Extractor going down momentarily. And you're right, this little nice bonus for the Terran, really it's because, typically as Terran, you got to build a refiner which costs 75 minerals, and it takes time to build it with an SCV. Whereas if you have a Zerg teammate, it's cheap, man. Extractors for the Zerg, geysers for the Zerg come very cheap. It's like free almost.
Well, not
except
exactly,
for the drone cost,
because it does cost
That's
the drone
true.
and all the money that drone would mine for the entire game.
That's true.
So I think it's actually more expensive for Zerg, which is kind of weird that he would drop it down like that, because there's a trade-off. The Zerg ultimately gets hurt by it more, but the Terran is going to gain the benefit of having an extractor super duper duper early on in the game. So the question is what's he trying to do with that extractor once he gets that gas? And he's already over 100 gas now, so I think we're going to see a very, very quick factory here out of Axlav. And there it is. Yeah,
the factory is now coming down. And, well, before this game really gets super intense and hardcore, I just wanted to have a chat with you, Pain User, because what do you think? If me and you teamed up right here, right now, and played some 2v2s, what kind of combo would you want to do?
Terran Zerg, man.
Terran Zerg?
Yeah.
So you're of the Terran Zerg?
Speedlings and Hellions.
Isn't that what you do with Sickness?
Into Banshees. I mean, it works, dude. it really works, especially at our level. I mean, these guys are at a much higher level of 2v2 than we would be, though. I mean, these guys are some of the best 2v2 players in the world, and that's for sure. Axlav and Strifecrow have been playing 2v2 forever.
Are you saying I wouldn't be a good teammate? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, no.
I'm just kidding, man.
We'd kick some ass.
No.
What a pylon block. That is so impressive right there. Just wasting so much of Axlav's time.
I don't know if we would kick this much ass, though. This is a pretty big ass kicking.
Very impressive.
Very nice.
Very impressive.
Yeah, and it looks like he has to look at the damage it's doing. Axlav has to pool 6 or 7 SCVs just to get the factory down. He loses all that mining time, and he loses the benefit of getting that quick gas, because now the factory has been delayed that much more.
Yeah, and he has a lot of stockpiled gas here. I'm not sure exactly what Axlav is going for. He's almost up to 200 gas. He hasn't spent any of it. He doesn't have a starport coming down. He's continuing to add these Hellions in now. There's the starport finally, but it's so late. Wow. Just slipping on his macro quite a bit there. I think that pylon threw him off. And he's also supply blocked pretty hard here.
Ooh.
Man, this game is going pretty rough for Axlav. I mean, this early on in the game, supply blocking for that long at 27, he's only going to have 2 Hellions out on the field, and this is giving such a big advantage to Team Supsons here.
Yeah, and they were the first team to win the last game. So this is obviously really, really bad, because you don't want to lose 2 games in a row. Looks like Axlav trying to come in here with his Hellions. His Hellions are delayed because, remember, his factory got down that much later due to the pylon block, and that means he doesn't have as many Hellions as he could have had, and I think Optic Zero should be able to hold this off with relative ease. Note the great placement of his buildings as well.
Yeah, very impressive. He has a double wall here with all of his pylons. I love it. This is just such intelligent play. It's going to keep you safe against Zerglings and Hellions, and he's able to hold that with just 2 Stalkers and 2 Sentries right there. Then conversely on the other side, we have Select with his tank and double bunker setup. He's going to go ahead and get siege mode here. And I think that both these players are going to be able to hold their respective sides, although we do have Team EG making a move here. They're going after the gateway. Will they get it? The gateway's down, and the yellow looks to be headed towards the red, and this could be bad.
And one of the sentries going down as well, which means less force fields for Optic Zero to block this off once the gateway falls down, but he replaces the gateway with another gateway, and he throws down a force field to protect that gateway, allowing it to get some health and shields as it's warping in. Beautiful play by Optic Zero, but the pylons continuing to fall down, and more Lings streaming in. It really looks like Evil Geniuses wants to end the game here, and look at Optic Zero continuing to replace the wall bit by bit as he falls back.
God, that was such an impressive hold from Optic Zero right there. What a great job. And now Select moving out into the midfield. I think this might be a little bit premature by him. Those Lings may be able to clean up the siege tanks. Hopefully they don't. He needs to keep those alive. Those are such important units. And oh my god, he might lose both those siege tanks to 4 Zerglings. And that is critical right there. I think Select made a huge mistake by moving out right there. Didn't have the Marine cover, and Optic Zero obviously wasn't ready to move out. He had just been dealing with all that back at home. And gonna lose that siege tank count. And I feel like that's the huge advantage they had going into the mid game here.
And they just threw it away.
Absolutely.
Optic Zero was like, I need help, I need help. I think Select may have overreacted right there, man.
Well, I mean, yeah, if they were talking on, Ventrilo or Skype or something, I'm sure Optic Zero was like, hey, come on!
Yeah, help me, what are you doing?
Do you see the Lings at my front door? Do you see the Hellions bring back up? And then Select, I think, came a little too late and just brought everything that he could, but ended up losing it all.
I honestly feel like Select should have been the more composed one there, because if you have a teammate that's under attack, he's the one who's acting frantic, and it's your job to analyze the situation and determine, is it really better to move out, or is it better for me to stay in? Mm-hmm. Well, I think Select may have made, he made the moral choice to move out and help, but I don't know about the long run.
I think moving out might have actually been okay, but the problem with it is that he moved out and sieged up in the middle of the two bases, and his tanks right here might be able to pick off a few of these Lings. He has a great position with his tanks. Strife Crow trying to force a lift here, trying to deny this Nexus, and he might be able to do so. Yes, he gets the deny on the Nexus, but he's going to lose a ton of Zerglings.
Now, Optic Zero actually recuperating his resources there, was able to get the cancel in time, so he drops down a new Nexus. And let's just go ahead and look at a couple of these tabs. Sometimes 2v2 can be a little confusing, and it's always good to use StarCraft 2's awesome replay tabs to see who's ahead and who's behind. We can see that Evil Geniuses has about the same harvesters, maybe a little less than Team Supsons, and the army tab showing that Team Supsons maybe a little bit ahead in that department as well. So Supsons, I think, is doing quite well for themselves right now.
Yeah, they certainly had the better early game, and they've transitioned out of it very well here. Select has 3 bunkers. He's secure with tanks, and we do have a drop going off in the back of the base, but Select instantly responding, sieging a tank, and bringing Marines to support. Going to be able to take out those Hellions very, very quickly, doing almost no damage, and now we do have that Phoenix squad from Optic Zero headed towards Axlav's base. Axlav with a huge air force here, going to get his Raven picked off immediately.
Oh, that's a huge
loss.
My
goodness, going to lose his Viking as well. And wow, Optic Zero coming up huge right there.
Yeah, that Raven is about 200 gas or so. It's an extremely gas-intensive unit. Axlav obviously going for the Raven because it's such a useful unit in 2v2, man. And getting that taken out is another setback on top of the setbacks that Evil Geniuses have already had to go through. And it looks like the Phoenixes will continue to harass Evil Geniuses. They may be able to pop off the Queen as well and get out of there without losing a single unit. Oh, yeah. Maybe not.
Oh, getting a little ahead of himself right there.
Okay.
Optic Zero trying to go in and take out all those queens.
I'll give Axlav's Air Force 4-star rating for that. I was gonna give him 5, but I'll give him 4.
4-star?
I would fly.
What about
I would fly.
Optic Zero. Optic Zero's Air Force.
I'm sorry. I meant Optic Zero.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Axlav's.
Oh no, Axlav's like 2 out of 5, man.
He's a 2 out of 5
He's
safety
like
rating.
the KPA, or not the KPA, the DPRK Airlines.
The DPRK Airlines.
I think they have like a 1-star safety rating. Don't fly to North Korea, guys.
Oh my God. Look at this force from Select we have moving out here. So many Marines, so many tanks. I don't think there's any way that Axelav and StrifeCrow will be able to hold on here. It's all going to come down to Micro, but with these Phoenixes and their ability to lift the siege tanks, if they go simultaneously and pick up the tanks, which it looks like they're doing, they're going to win this huge.
ET phones home. The tanks are in the air, and it looks like Team Supsons is going to push on in here and take this game away. They're going to kill all the creep tumors as well. Squad chemotherapy here, taking them out. And it looks like Evil Geniuses is going to lose game 2 as well.
Squad chemotherapy, eradicating the tumors, or irradiating them, rather. GG is called.
GG.
Team Supsons takes it.
Yeah. And just a well-executed play in general. We can obviously, the teamwork for Supsons is a little bit better, perhaps, than Team Evil Geniuses, and that definitely helped them win.
It's very interesting. We also saw this in the EG Masters Cup, is that StrifeCrow and Axelav actually have lost in quite a few 2v2 tournaments. It's pretty interesting. They have some more experience than everyone. They actually do have great teamwork. They did switch races, though. They were not satisfied with the Zerg-Protoss combination. They weren't finding a way to make it work, and they decided to throw a Terran into the mix, so they're almost having to completely relearn their dynamic and change things around. And a lot of other teams have also just recently started to 2v2 as a result of this to try and catch up. Tournaments like this, tournaments, the PTSL, EG Masters Cup, all starting up. So 2v2 teams are just forming and just now starting to work out all that teamwork and those issues. But Select and Optic Zero looking great.
Yeah, and we'll go ahead and close this up because we want to go to Game 3. But just do check us out if you guys can at Twitter and Facebook. PainUser has it on, let me see if I can get this right. It's twitter.com/PainUser, and it is youtube.com/StratBunker. And you guys can follow me on YouTube as well, and as well as Twitter. Also, check out the IPL. And that's it for us. We want to go ahead and go on to Game 3 right away so you guys don't miss any of the action. So stay tuned.
Yep, stay tuned.